But I do want to talk about the fact that in the relocation chart that I have here, if I were to move to Hungary, my sun would be right there in conjunct to descendant. And I read somewhere that it's like on astro.com on the astro travel section, where you look at the different lines of if you're moving to another place, what areas are best, what sort of energies you need to work on if you're going to relocate. Because I see this here with the Sun Pluto conjunct with yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You see it right here with Lilith. And because it says conjunct to the ascendant, it shows to me that it's like, oh, I might be sort of now still dependent. I might sort of lose myself in the process, right? Instead of being shining into the ascendant, if my sun was in the ascendant, I'd be more like, oh, I can express my full, at least physically speaking, myself, and what people see me as really like that, you know. But here, it's more of like that sort of dependence. It's right at home. I would feel right at home. It's like Libra, Sun Libra in the 7th house. And actually, surprisingly, the moon is in Aquarius, right in this. The moon would not be really at home, but because it's in Aquarius, Aquarius is in the 11th house, it's right there. So it kind of, I would say I would kind of sort of like fit in. There's still going to be power struggles, of course. That's just what I'm going to experience. But in this case, the power struggle is more with the workplace, any sort of unconscious behavior that I get into, things that I become comfortable with. That's the 6th house though. So, but I like the fact that it's like, oh, I'm more like, I can be more completely Libra in the 7th house and completely more Aquarius, because they're trying to each other. It's a comfortable placement. But at the same time, there's going to be like communicational sort of like unpredictability with Uranus and Mercury conjunct here, square to my moon in Aquarius. Also with like anger, I would say anger here becomes a little more subdued. Any sort of anger I might feel have to be transformed or suppressed, because that's 8th house stuff. A lot of trust issues, right? So it might come back in terms of like the anger that I feel. So it has a more Scorpio effect to my Sagittarian right there. So that's a very interesting placement, I think. I'm not going to go so much into detail because I don't want to talk too much about it. I kind of want to just give an introductory sort of feel to this whole thing. And what I think about how I might blend in Hungary in terms of the conservatism. And speaking of conservatism, we have Saturn here, which is going to be in the workplace. So sort of any sort of work that I do, any sort of service that I give, if I were to move to Hungary, there would be limitations to that, right? And that's where probably anger pops out, because I have, is it anger? Oh no, it's not. My Mars was what is this on? Sextile to my Saturn. It's Neptune that would be square. So it changed a bit actually. You look at it. You see that? Or is that actually, this is 3, 6. Let's double check here. Saturn in Libra 3, 6. Oh no, okay. No, it'd still be the relationship stuff. But this one, Neptune is square to Jupiter. Okay, no, it's the same one as before. Okay, I thought it moved. It's like, it wouldn't really move. There is something that I didn't mention in other videos before. It's the part of fortune. I noticed that the part of fortune moves in the relocation charts, which makes sense because it's not a planet. Again, because these are like sort of like I guess you can say divine, more like gifts that I can show what I would be able to give out of service, out of like my real abilities, so to speak, like actual not hidden gifts, but hidden talents, gifts, or part of fortune. I didn't really get into that, but part of fortune, I'm going to cheat back here and look at the part of fortune just quickly before I finish up here. Part of fortune is in the area of your life which will manifest health, success, health, and abundance. So that means that because it's in the 5th house, if I were to move to Hungary, I think being an athlete would come back. It would be more like, oh, that's interesting. I'd be probably better off here in Hungary with children as well. Any sort of recreational activities, romance as well, I'd be kind of like, I don't know, something. Because of my teaching background, I would also see that it applies there too, because it would probably be that way. I'm going to see if there's any aspects to part of fortune here. 24 degrees, of course, naturally. Okay. Yeah, trying to Pallas Athena, but it's delayed still because of the retrograde here, right? So that's trine right there shows me that it might come naturally for me to find wisdom in knowing about myself, even though it's delayed through any recreational sort of the love that I give, generosity, right? It's ruled by Leo, right? So I would say that's one positive thing to take out of it as well. So what else was there? 24. I want to look at trines. Oh, okay. Right here, we have this one. So communication might be kind of easier with how I express my gifts, my sort of success. So it has a lot probably to do with communication in sports, or probably something to do with recreational communication, sort of like relating, sort of. It's all kind of around relationship, sports, and recreation sort of thing. I would say that kind of, and also probably health as well. So that's very interesting. So I thought that's cool. You have two planets, two planetary bodies, or three rather, that are trying to that. So that's a really smooth aspect. So I wouldn't mind trying it. Maybe in the future move to Hungary or just work there. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you some insight. I'm going to post other videos about going through little things. I'll make another sort of a mini series. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, you know what to do. See you later. Bye.